All right. Well, glad you're joining me today. Happy Wednesday. I just heard this morning when I turned the TV on, when I got up, that this Saturday's first day of summer. It already feels like it. It already feels like summer's been here for a while, right? I decided, haven't done this yet, so I decided maybe I'd pull a Tracy today. Sometimes you can, it's really cool how sometimes you can really communicate a message through music. And I don't do that, very often. But for the record, me and this guitar, we go way back. As a matter of fact, this guitar has been a part of my life ever since I was right at 21 years old. Yeah, I traded a car for this guitar. Probably haven't ever heard a story like that, have you? It's true. Not pulling your leg. It's too long of a story. I'm not going to tell you it today. But anyway, I've got a little something that I thought, kind of a song that's been going through my mind lately that I thought maybe I'd go ahead and play for you here today. But there is something that has been on my mind that I wanted to share with you as well, in addition to a song. And it's kind of interesting because yesterday morning someone else in our church staff meeting brought it up. And so we talked about it a little bit. And it's a valid point. And I was really glad to hear that someone else was thinking along these lines as well. Because the thought had occurred to me a little while back that so much of our attention, so much of our focus, and I'm talking about the leadership in the church, and I'm talking about myself personally, actually, so much of the focus has been on the welfare of our church family. Even going way back to the middle of March when we made that last minute decision and canceled Sunday services, and we made that decision on a Saturday morning. And that wasn't an easy decision to make. And little did I realize that for 3 months we were going to be canceling services, following that. But the thing that was motivating us to do that was your welfare. We didn't want to put anyone in harm's way. We didn't want to take the risk. I didn't want to do the funeral of a good friend or friends of mine that are part of my spiritual family, my church family. And so we thought, you know what? Until we know more details about this coronavirus and everything, we better be safe than sorry. And so we canceled the services, and right away we started doing some things in addition, thinking of our church family. We started having online services on Sundays, and have been doing that ever since. We started having daily devotional, weekday devotionals, videos like this every day. We developed a calling communication list and kind of switched it around. And so many of you've gotten either a text or email or phone call, a couple of 2, 3, 4 times maybe from one of the elders or one of the staff members over the last 3 months, just checking in because we're concerned for our church family, as we should be. But the thing that's been occurring to me here in the last couple of weeks is we've been thinking and focusing so much on our church family that we're kind of leaving something out. Why we're here to begin with. And even now, as we start opening up, we are sending out emails like you would have just gotten an email in your inbox. You might check your junk mail if you don't see it in your inbox at 4:30 today regarding this upcoming Sunday, and it gives a link to where you'll be able to make a reservation, and there will be a text sent after this video premieres And you'll have the opportunity then to make a reservation this Sunday because we have a limitation of seats and all of this. Anyway, we started doing that. Last Sunday we officially started opening. And just so you know, we are tweaking, we're changing a couple things, created a little bit more space. So I encourage you to follow up on that. But again, that has all been directed toward our church family. So we've been having online services for our church family. We've been making contacts, calls, emails, texts to our church family just to make sure they're doing all right. We've been putting together these weekday devotions for our church family. We've created all these safeguards as we start opening up for our church family. We have reservation opportunities. The green light is being sent out on Wednesdays to our church family. And you know what? The thing that's pretty convicting in all this is that our responsibilities for why we're here goes beyond our church family. Otherwise, we might as well go to heaven, go to glory, be in God's presence. Because as believers, we'll all be there. But we're still down here. And the reason we're still down here is because we still serve a purpose for why we exist as a church and as a family of believers. And that is for the people that aren't a part of the family yet. We've got a responsibility. I remember what Jesus said when Jesus, after his resurrection, he appeared to his disciples. And he said in John chapter 20, verse 21, "As the Father has sent me, so I am sending you." Well, how had the Father sent him? Well, Jesus, he taught on that more than once, like the time that, Zacchaeus was saved in Luke 19. Jesus made it clear there that the Son of Man has come to seek and to save the lost. That's why he came. And so here he was after his resurrection telling his disciples, he said, "As the Father has sent me, so I am sending you." We have a calling, we have a responsibility to seek and to save the lost. And in your sphere of influence and contacts, that may involve a coworker, that may involve your next door neighbor, that may involve a relative of yours. But that's part of our responsibility. But this whole coronavirus thing, it's just gotten us so distracted and preoccupied with that it's kind of easy sometimes to slide to the side what our primary purpose is all about. So I guess my word of encouragement for you today is let's not forget why we're here. You got an email that was sent to you at 4:30 today that has the link. It goes to our website, talks about, some of the things pertaining to Sunday services, and there's a link that's going to become active at 6:30 here, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. I want to encourage you to consider doing something. Don't just take that email and use it for your own consumption and action. But forward that email. Forward it to that relative, that coworker. That's someone that you've been trying to influence toward Christ for some time now. Send it to them. This might very well be the time that they're open and receptive more than ever before. This whole coronavirus thing, people's world has really changed in the last 3 months. And some people who, felt pretty content and felt like, their life was basically what they wanted it to be, all of a sudden now they realize they don't have control of things. Maybe they've had some job issues. Maybe they've gotten laid off. They've been trying to live off of less income. Maybe their health is something they really fell back on and were pretty proud of, and now they realize that there's this virus going around that sends some people to being on ventilators, and the percentages of people that are on ventilators that come off ventilators isn't real encouraging, at least according to New York statistics. You know, and so this whole coronavirus thing has very well shaken some people's world. Now, you and I, as believers, you know, we have the hope of eternity. And so we've always got that to fall back on. And so no matter what this world dishes out to us, we know we got something sweet on the horizon that's waiting for us. But is that true about your coworker? Is that true about that relative? That old friend that you've tried to witness to from time to time? Because maybe they've just been relying on their savings and their job, and they've found their identity in the here and now. And man, that has been rocked these last 3 months. So maybe they're a little more open than they have been in the past. So I want to encourage you to forward that email. Invite them to come. Encourage them to read, and you know, they can make a reservation just like anyone else can. And for those of you who yet aren't quite ready yet to come back to the public services at our church building, I mean, that's fine. We still are going to be providing the services online on Sunday morning. Well, you can create a watch party, right? You can create a watch party for them. And it's just, you know, just a different way of hopefully seizing the opportunity and being able to plant some seeds and then hopefully follow up with that and to influence people to Christ. Yeah, Jesus said, as the Father sent me, so I have sent you. How did the Father send him? The Father sent him to seek and to save the lost. So you know what? That's your calling as well as a believer. That's my calling. Yeah, maybe we've kind of forgotten that here in recent months. Let's get back getting after what we've been called to be doing. Okay? All right. So, I'm out of time. I'm sorry. We'll just have to wait and maybe do the song another time. All right. You guys have a good week, and be sure and check out the text that's going to be coming here pretty quick, and going online and indicating that you're coming. I hope to see you Sunday. See you later. Goodbye.